What's up, guys? So since the very first video, I forgot to look at the camera. So since the very first video got a lot of views, well, a lot of views to me because, you know, your girl just jumped off the porch. But since it got so many views and I got a lot of comments and questions and a lot of DMs regarding certain things about moving, and a lot of girls were DMing me and they were telling me, oh, I really want to move, but I have this, that, and the third stopping me. And the reasons that they were giving me, I was like, girl, that ain't enough to keep you from moving. Okay, so I wrote these things down. I keep forgetting to look over here. So I wrote these things down because my brain doesn't hold information in for very long. As far as planning the move and picking a city, I know a lot of people were like, oh my God, I can't even decide on a city where I want to go. Well, I have a few tips that might help you narrow down your city search. So my first tip is very important, and it would be to determine your long-term goals. So this is a major key in deciding where you want to move to. What are your goals? What are your goals for the future? What do you want to do? What do you see yourself doing in the next few months, in the next few years? Write those things down. And also write down your desired lifestyle. So if you like the country, you don't need to be moving to, a big city. If you like city life, you don't need to be moving to an area that's kind of rural. So make sure you write down your desired lifestyles. Do you like going out all the time, or do you like, a calm setting, a calm environment? Write all those things down and listen to the next step. So the next one is going to be make a list of your desired places. So these are the places that you've always thought in your head, oh my gosh, if I could drop everything right now and move to this place, this is where I'm going. Write that down. Write those places down. But don't write too many down because you're going to make your decision process hard. Now that you have your desired places that you want to live and your long-term goals, next thing you need to think about is which one of those places will help you accomplish your goal. That's key, okay? You don't need to move somewhere just because maybe that's what's popping right now or that's where all your friends are. You need to go somewhere that is going to put you in an area where you can completely flourish and accomplish all the things that you want to accomplish. Like, for example, this is a pretty common example. If you wanted to be an actress, off the top of your head, where would you move to already? You know the answer. California, or maybe Atlanta, maybe, just depends. But that's an example of, what are your long-term goals and how can wherever you want to move to help you reach your long-term goals. So my long-term goals was to start a business, and I moved to Dallas because Dallas has a great network for young Black professionals, and I wanted to come out here and network. So that's an example of a goal and how your environment will help you reach your goal. The next one I have is make sure after you narrow down your search, research. What I did was I joined a bunch of Facebook groups. I joined a bunch of Dallas Facebook groups. So I looked up Dallas professionals, Dallas small businesses, or just, houses in Dallas, apartments in Dallas. I joined all of those groups, and then when I got in there, I just started observing the different types of people, what they're talking about, the events that are going on in Dallas, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they do this, they do that, oh yeah. That's what I like. So, and also in those Facebook groups, I asked a lot of questions to people. So I was asking what does Dallas have to offer so-and-so? Or, I would ask, what's the culture like in Dallas? Ask them all of those questions that you want to know about the place that you're trying to move to. Ask those questions in those Facebook groups. Those people will not hurt you. They will not bite. They cannot jump through that screen. Ask. And the last one I have is, if you can, stay there for a weekend. Plan a little weekend to drive out there or fly out there and just stay there for the weekend. And don't go to just any of the tourist spots. Go to some of the local spots just so you can get a feel for the real culture of the area. And also maybe go look at a few neighborhoods, look at a few areas of town to see where you might like to be. Now let's get into the tips that everybody wanted to talk about, everybody wanted to know about, okay? These are the most common questions that I kept getting about finding an apartment and getting approved for an apartment. So the first thing a lot of people were saying is, what if I have bad credit? I keep forgetting to look over here. What if I have bad credit? So that's okay. Let's keep in our brain this one little line, okay? There's a way around everything. You just have to be creative enough to find that way, okay? So if you don't have bad credit, you do have several options. The first one I would say is to get a cosigner. If you can't get mom, dad, papa, auntie, uncle to be your cosigner, whatever, they suck, there's still an option for you, okay? There are certain services called guarantor services, and they will act as a cosigner for you. Basically, you apply with them. There's the little application fee, which is the least that you can do because they're helping you take such a huge step in life. Sorry, I talk on my hands so much. Yeah, so they will basically act as your cosigner. Look that up. There are two that I know of called Leap Easy and Liberty Rent. Make sure you do your research on these guarantor services and make sure they're not gouging you or anything like that or trying to get over it. Do your research, but I will link those two in the description bar. The second piece of advice I have if you have bad credit is find apartments that don't do credit checks. Yes, they exist. I know what you're thinking. They exist, I promise. You just have to do a lot of research. It's all about how bad you want it. So try to find some that don't do credit checks. The next one I have is, so if your credit is on the flow, we're not gonna judge. We're not gonna judge because life happens. But if your credit is on the flow, if I was you, I would create like a nice little portfolio. For one, this shows that, okay, she's serious, he's serious about getting this apartment. And two, it might help your chances of getting approved. And in that portfolio, I would put like a proven history. If you have a proven history at a previous apartment complex and you had perfect payment record, I would put that in there. I would ask for a letter of recommendation from a previous apartment complex. The worst they can say is no, get out of my face. And then, okay, so we'll find something else. We'll figure it out. If you have bank statements, a savings, anything like that, I would put that in that portfolio to let them know that, hey, I might have bad credit, but I do have a savings here that could be a cushion, or I do have this letter of recommendation from my previous apartment, from my previous leasing manager, something like that. That might help you guys out a little bit. If you have a bad rental history, there's still options for you too, okay? Look up second chance housing or second chance apartment, especially in Dallas. There's a bunch of them. Basically, they give chances out to people who might have a bad rental history. If I were you, I would definitely look into second chance apartments. Now, there are a few that are like gonna be terrible, but there are a bunch of great second chance apartments. So definitely look into that. Also, when you go in to speak with the leasing manager, I would say be completely honest. Tell them your story. If you got a story, you better sell it, okay? If your auntie stole your credit back in junior high, tell them that, okay? They are humans. They have hearts. Some of them are evil, but we're not gonna worry about those. They're human. Let them know your story. Be honest with them. If you were young, dumb in college, didn't understand, credit and how credit works, let them know that. Also, you could suggest to turn on auto pay if you were approved. So basically, auto pay, they'll take that money right out of your account each month. You don't even have a say so. You don't press a button or nothing. They just go ahead and snatch it. Or you could definitely offer to pay a bigger deposit. You could offer to pay like 3 months rent, 2 months rent, if that's something that you can do. It just depends on, once again, how bad you want it. You might be able to save up for a few months, make some sacrifices, save up a whole bunch of money, and give a big deposit. All right. So, and another tip I have if you have bad credit is, let me tell y'all a little secret. Come look closer. The app, Self. I kid you not. I signed up for Self. It's basically this app that you take out a loan under your name, but really it's just a savings plan. So basically all the money that you pay towards the loan, you get to get at the end of the loan service. Of course, they do take out a little fee. But y'all, I signed up for Self and my credit score went up like 80 points. So my next tip is for people who either moving to a new city with a new job or a new city with no job. So if you are moving to a new city with a new job, just give them an offer letter. Ask your employer to type up an offer letter for you and give them an offer letter. That should do it, especially if they can verify, you know, that is a real place of employment. Now, if you are in a new city or you want to move to a new city and you don't have a job, well, let me tell you what I did, because I didn't have a job. But now look, don't go tell nobody I told you this. Don't tell them I told you. But what I did was I just used bank statements and check stubs from my previous job. Yeah, that's what I did. But let me tell you, don't do that if you know when you get here you are not gonna hit the ground running to find a job. Don't do that, okay? But remember I told y'all I found an apartment that had 2 months of free rent. So that allowed me to be able to hit the ground running to find a job within those 2 months. And finding a job in Dallas was incredibly easy. If you don't have a job in Dallas, it's because you don't want to work. They're literally handing them out. Okay, so if that doesn't work for you, what you can do is you can save up money for an extended stay, stay at the extended stay, or a hostel. I don't know how comfortable y'all are with hostels, but hostels are really great. They're only like $18 a night, some of them cheaper. And you can stay in one of those until you secure a job. And then once you secure a job, then you can start applying for apartments. That way is more comfortable for you. Well, my last little bit of advice, this is one of the most important, okay? And I know you're gonna want to skip it because I'm pretty sure a lot of people have told you this, or maybe you've heard this before, but listen, okay? Please don't think about it for too long, okay? The longer you think about it, the more problems you will create in your head and the more reasons you will give yourself not to go, okay? The best way to get into this is to hit the ground running. Plan, make you out a good plan, and just hit the ground running, okay? Also, don't share with too many people your plans of moving, because a lot of people will project their fears onto you, and that will really weigh in heavy on your decision making, especially if it's somebody that's close to you. A lot of people will be like, girl, don't do that. You don't know nobody out there. You don't have a job out there. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be living in a shelter. And you will start to believe those things, and those things will keep you. Hold on. I got something in my. Okay. But anyways, yeah, so don't share with too many people that you want to make this move. Just start the planning process and then start the action, okay? Remember to persevere, okay? I don't care if 16 apartments decline you, okay? You go for that 17th and that 18th and that 19th and that 20th. I don't care if it takes you to 156 to get that one yes. You're gonna get it, okay? You mean to tell me it's 1,800 apartments in the city and you think that not one of them will let you in? One of them will, okay? You just have to keep going, all right? And you never know what God is saving for you, okay? We have our own plan, and God's plan is much bigger. We can't see it. And those no's really get to us, but really those no's are to help us. Come on now. It's Sunday, I'm here with a word. And my DMs are always open to questions. I would like if you guys follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna be doing a question thing on my story really soon. So I would like for you guys to give me all of your questions regarding moving, especially if you're trying to move to the Dallas area. And I will answer them on a separate YouTube video, just like I did this one. Even though I know this one was kind of short and a little all over the place, but I really just wanted to answer some of the questions that people were asking.